All right, I'm here with Tim Scheer, pitmaster of Shake'N Bake BBQ. He's going to trim us out a competition pork butt. Take it away, Tim.
All right, here we go. We start out with the Smithfield extra tender pork butt. Pop this baby open. Look at that marbling right there. That's what we're after. So what we're going to do for the competition, first thing we're looking for always is the money muscle, okay? Here's the bone end right here. Here's your money muscle on the other end. We want a nice big money muscle, some good marbling in it. Now this thing's sliding around all over. Here's the tip. Take this paper towel, stick it right underneath there. Locks are tight, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do, start outlining this money muscle right here. We take the fat off the top. Just make small cuts, work your way back. You don't wanna make a big mistake. Start shaping this thing up. Peel some of this excess fat off of here. We want to get it looking good for presentation purposes. We're going to slice this thing into medallions when we're finished. It's going to make a nice presentation. This is the most tender and juicy part of the whole butt. So as you can see, this thing's going back there quite a ways. It's a real nice sized money muscle here. Kind of use your fingers just to outline it a little bit. Got a little gash here we got to take care of. You can kind of trim your way out of that a lot of times. So we want to get this thing looking good for presentation. Next thing we're going to do, go straight back from the money muscle and you'll find a couple muscle groups called what we call the tubes. We just peel this little bit of fat off the top of it. There's a one right here, there's one right here, and there's a third one underneath it there. Those are some nice long stringy pieces of pulled pork you can use for your box. And as you can see, what we're trying to do, I'm cooking hot and fast on a drum smoker, so what I want to do is break this butt down. It's a 10-pound butt to start with. I want to break this thing down into equal sized muscle groups so that it cooks evenly and everything's finished at the same time. All right. Next thing we're going to do is work our way back in here to what I call the loin meat. This one's nice and marbled. But all you got to do is, the bone's sitting right here, all you got to do is kind of run your knife on top of that bone. And you see here we've got a nice equal sized piece again. And what I'll do is shape that up. If everything turns out right, this could be a real nice piece to slice, kind of thin. It gives you a different texture. Awesome presentation when this thing turns out right. I'll just take it and slice it real thin like a deli slice almost. So here we go, we've got the money muscle, the tubes, the loin. Now we work our way back to the bone area right here. Here's the bone of the shoulder. Take my knife right across where the bone ends. Stops here, take it down, just kind of make a little horseshoe cut. You've got a little handle you can pick it up with, move it around with. And then the last thing here is there's like a horn area over here. It's another kind of a white meat that's going to fall apart when you cook it. You can use it for pulled or chunks. We'll just kind of clean up some of this excess fat right here that we don't need. All right, and as you can see, we've still even sized pieces throughout the whole butt. That way this thing's going to be finished at the same time. It'll cook for about 3.5 hours total, and this thing will be done. Last thing I like to look for is this bottom part right here. I call it the bacon. This meat right here is the most tender and juicy part of the whole butt. You don't get much of it. You get a real thin piece underneath this fat cap, so we'll leave that intact. We'll start out cooking this thing fat cap down, give it a flip halfway through, and then wrap it up in foil for about 1.5 hours at the end. It'll be like magic.
All right, thank you, Tim.